Hey guys, welcome to the video. Salt here. Today we're going to be doing the primary weapon, the Kuva Sobek. Now this is actually the second video I've done on the Kuva Sobek. The first one was more of a theory crafting video, and it's because the Kuva Sobek, when it first came out, we didn't have access to the augment that was in the Nora shop because it was brand new. So it was more of a theory crafting video, and this is going to be the actual one where we're using the augment and we're showing it off. So now this Kuva Sobek was suggested to us from commenter Tengu 1993. So he reminded us to do the video once we got our augment, which we did. Top commenter for the last video was Adam Fleming, and first commenter of the last video was Adeptus Mechanicus. All right, let's go into the Kuva Sobek here. So the Kuva Sobek is a Kuva weapon, and like other Kuva or Tenet weapons, you get to choose a progenitor element that the weapon just gets straight off. You can choose one of the basic elements. There are two different combined elements you can choose, radiation or magnetic, and there's also a physical element, impact, that you can choose. Now for our Kuva Sobek, we're going to be going for toxic. So, okay, let's go into it here. Interesting things about the Kuva Sobek. First, we just said it already, is the progenitor element that you get for free. Well, it's not really for free. You have to kill an entire lich or a sister to get it. But yeah, it'll be on your weapon after you do that. It's a shotgun, of course, so it has fall-off damage. It has really good multi-shot, like most shotguns do. So other than that, there's not really anything like too interesting about the Sobek, other than it has a crap load of augments for it. So let's type in Sobek here. And we have Shattering Justice, Acid Shells, and Clip Delegation. So Shattering Justice is a Syndicate mod. It's not very good, and it's just because it doesn't give you great stats. So it's just 90% status chance, and then Justice. Justice is the Syndicate effect where it restores 25% of your health and increases your armor by 15% for 30 seconds. That health and armor is based on your base health and armor, so it's not very impressive. Like even on an Anaros, the health is not super impressive. So for that reason, and because it's only 90 status chance, it's not really an option. So we have Acid Shells and Clip Delegation next. Now, Acid Shells has a niche use with Sarin. I think there's one or two other Warframes that could do really well with Acid Shells, where it's very good on them. But normally Acid Shells is not a very good mod, and it's just because it does not scale on Steel Path content. It only scales on normal content. So enemies explode on death, dealing 450 corrosive damage and 45% enemy max health in that 15-meter radius. That max health is based on like the non-Steel Path value, or like the scaling of it. So that's where it kind of falls off. Now I'm not a Sarin player, so I don't exactly know the interaction with Sarin and why it does really well on her, but on other Warframes, not so much. And I'm going to show testing that I've done with Acid Shells, just because in the last Kuva Sobek video, there were a lot of people arguing, and I was, getting called big dumb for not having Acid Shells on my build and all kinds of stuff. So I have like testing, and I'll show in the simulacrum also some more testing, just to kind of back up my claim. Then we have Clip Delegation here. Clip Delegation is 225% multi-shot and 225% status chance. There's a lot of text here, but it's very easy to actually keep that at 100% uptime. So you just need to hit stuff, and when you reload, you get, those stats added. It's 15% per shot landed. Well, this is a shotgun with a lot of multi-shots, so you're going to be at that full value pretty much all the time. All right, so I think before we get into the build, we'll go over the testing I did. So we'll switch over here. So this is the Kuva Sobek kill counts for 5-minute runs. These were done on Kuva Survival on Steel Path. I always chose a tile set that had 2 or more entry points. Although I think for all of these runs, it was 2 entry points. I don't think there was one that had more than 2 entry points. And I chose Kuva Survival because enemies there are weak to corrosive, and I wasn't testing corrosive. Although, that being said, I probably should have tested corrosive, because corrosive is also a good option for Kuva Sobek. Although with our build, it's super easy to switch back and forth between viral or corrosive. So when we were doing our larger element testing, corrosive was always right up there with viral. On corrupted enemies, viral won, but corrosive was right behind it. And on pure Grineer enemies, corrosive won, but viral was right behind it. And then, you know, if viral has 100 munitions, it'll beat corrosive by a bit. And then if corrosive has, if you're willing to use like 2 green shards to full strip with corrosive, then it does, you know, better than viral. So they're right there neck and neck, and they can get even better if you're willing to do those external things with them. 100 munitions is a little bit easier of an external thing because it's not really an external thing, it's just a mod, than 2 green shards. But if you have space for 2 green shards, then corrosive with a full strip is really strong. Okay, so let's go over these numbers here. Viral, in its 3 runs, it got 1,169 kills. Felt very good fighting everything. It was killing trash very easily. It was killing Eximuses very easily. No issues. Then I tested viral and acid shells. To fit acid shells, I took laser sight off of my build. And it's just because laser sight is the weakest mod in my build, so I just replaced that with acid shells. In this run, or in this 3 runs, I got 996 kills total. So it did worse than viral with laser sight. And it's just because those acid shells, the actual explosion you get out of it is not very powerful on steel path enemies. It's barely noticeable. Okay. Lastly, I tested gas. Now, I would have liked to test gas electric, but my progenitor did not allow it. So I had to test gas by itself. I'm guessing gas with electric probably would have did a little bit better because it is a very powerful combo. But anyway, so in its 3 runs, gas got 1,086 kills. And like I said, I'm sure with electric, it probably would have got maybe like another 100-ish kills. So it probably would have been closer to like where viral is. That being said, though, gas by itself, and even with electricity, it doesn't feel very good on Eximus units. You're kind of at the mercy of like those AoE enemies, like getting multiple clouds up. This weapon's very easy to get 10 stacks of gas. Like everything I was shooting was having full 10 stack because it's crazy status chance and all the pellets. But it just wasn't doing enough damage to actually beat out like the viral build. And not only that, but it felt really bad on Eximuses. So I don't think gas is a great option. I wish I could have tested gas electric together, but I don't think they would have been... It would have been better, but I don't think it would have felt better than just viral 100 munitions. So for that reason, viral 100 munitions without acid shells is going to be the winner. So, okay, let's go back to regular gameplay here. All right, let's show off the mods now here. We have Galvanized Hell for multi-shot. Clip Delegation for multi-shot and status chance. Shotgun Barrage for fire rate. 100 Munitions has a 30% chance to apply a slash when we get a critical. We're going to get a lot of criticals. Critical Deceleration is going to increase our critical chance to 63%. Primed Ravage is going to give us more crit damage. Laser Sight is going to increase our critical chance. It says 120%, but that's 120% of its base critical, which is 21. So I believe that is like 25-ish percent, 25 or 26 maybe, ish percent. So the ending critical chance is about 88 to 90%. I'm not great at math, but it's somewhere between 88 and 90% for the ending critical chance. So almost, close to that 100% mark. Your 10% of your shots are not going to have critical multiplier applied to them, which does kind of suck, but it's only 10%. It's not too bad. That being said, though, laser sight is your weakest slot unless you have a Riven that gets fire rate. So you only need 1 fire rate mod. You don't need 2 fire rate mods. So if your Riven has fire rate, you replace Shotgun Barrage. And if your Riven doesn't have fire rate, you replace laser sight because laser sight is the weakest. Now, in the next slot here, we have Primed Chilling Grasp. The reason we're going with a Toxic Progenitor is multiple reasons, actually. So the Toxic Progenitor lets us easily switch between viral and corrosive. There is some content where corrosive is a lot better than viral. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm pretty sure Corrosive beat out Viral on our large element testing against Whispers content. I think Corrosive is better against Whispers enemies than Viral is. So having a Toxic Progenitor lets you be able to switch just by taking this mod off and putting an electric one here. Now all of a sudden you have Corrosive. Or if you put your cold one back on, now you have Viral. So it gives us flexibility. And then even if, like, let's say you knew you wanted Viral and you're never going to switch off of Viral, the reason you don't pick a cold Progenitor is because there is a cold primed element mod. And so you pick the Toxic Progenitor, so you're able to use the cold primed for more damage. Because this weapon doesn't need more status chance. We're only going with Viral. Viral only stacks, has a limited stack value to 10. So we don't need crazy status chance, even though we kind of have crazy status chance. And so we don't need the 60/60 on here, so we can use the big primed element mod. Okay, in the Exilus slot, you have two options. I'm going to be going with Vigilante Supplies. This says on the bottom 10% chance, but I think it's because my Hildren has... I think her pet has a Vigilante thing. It should be 5%. So like on your build, it's going to be 5% unless you have other Vigilante supplies or Vigilante set stuff. So this is going to give us a little bit more ammo back when we pick up stuff, and it's going to be a 5% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. So it's going to be giving us orange crits from our yellows 5% of the time. Which is actually quite a bit for this shotgun, because you get a lot of pellets going out. The other option in the Exilus is to increase your projectile speed to increase your fall-off range. Now, I feel like this weapon has a generous fall-off range. Like, I don't feel like you need more, but it's always an option. If you're maybe like playing more open world maps or maps with like really big tile sets for some reason, you know what? Like Lua has some really big tile sets. Then Galvanized Acceleration could also be really good there. Okay, that's the Exilus mods. Now we're going to go over the Arcanes. For the Arcanes, there's two good options. I'm going to go with Deadhead. So Deadhead or Merciless, they're both good. So they're both 360% flat damage increase. The difference is that Deadhead, those stacks take 24 seconds to fall off. Merciless, you have more stacks. It's still 360, but like each stack is less, but they fall off quicker. I don't really like that so much. Now, it is easier to stack Merciless because you only need kills, whereas Deadhead, you need headshot kills. Although headshot kills aren't really too hard to get either. Merciless is going to give you more reload speed, whereas Deadhead is going to give you less recoil and more headshot multiplier. So I'm going to go with Deadhead, but if you like Merciless, you can use Merciless too. It's not a big difference between them. All right, and that is the Kuva Sobek build. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Simulacrum real quick, and we're going to show off acid shells. Just because that was a large part of the comment section from the last video. All right, so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do what I did for my testing, which is take off, what is it called, laser sight, I think? Yeah, laser sight, and we're going to put acid shells there. All right, I'm going to summon in 20 Exo Ghost Tag officers. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to full strip them, and I'm going to see if... Let me take my little pet off real quick. He is annoying. Go away, little guy. Let's have them all lined up nice. That way the 15-meter range can hit all of them. So I'm going to full strip them, and then I'm going to kill this row. I'm going to kill this row. Then I'm going to kill these two rows. That way the middle row is the last one left. And hopefully we can see that you actually don't get any free kills with the explosions. You know, you would think if 19 guys are proccing acid shells, maybe you get 1 kill for free, but you're going to see that you don't. And it's just because the damage doesn't... It's not super impressive damage on Steel Path. And it's going to get worse and worse. So, like, as these dudes get more and more leveled, it gets worse and worse the longer you are in Steel Path. Again, I'm not a Saren player. Saren probably has some kind of mechanic where, you know, acid shells is still really good. But in normal content, not so much. So, okay. Let's go ahead and full strip here. I got to press this twice to full strip. All right. Where are you full stripped? We'll leave up like one of the dudes in the middle. There's some at like half health or quarter health. But I didn't get any kills for free. This dude still is sitting here with a little bit less than quarter health. So it's... You know, the amount of damage you're doing, I guess there's one dude here too. The amount of your damage you're doing with acid shells is not super impressive. And you have to jump through hoops for it. So there was a comment in the last video, a guy was arguing with me. He said, I actually had to write this down because it was that ridiculous. He said, well, it's because you're supposed to use acid shells with viral. You need to subsume in Zata's Whisper, because, you know, everyone uses Zata's Whisper, of course. You have to have Roar on, so someone else got to have Roar maybe, or you're using a Rhino, I guess. You use a Bane mod, and then you have to be able to full strip. So easy to do that. If you do that, then Acid Shells is really good. So, that was a little bit ridiculous for me. I actually had to write that down to remember all that crap. But yeah, I think that's a good... You know, it's a little bit ridiculous, but I guess he's trying to increase efficiency. So that's going to bring me into our first sponsor of my videos here. Here we go. Are you ready, guys? Salt Prime Pro MLG Gaming Diapers. Maximum efficiency. All right? Just so in case you guys didn't know, one 10-minute bathroom trip equals over 10% efficiency loss. All right? Real gamers, they don't get up to use the bathroom, okay? Don't lose DPS. All right, these are going to increase your damage per hour, or DPH. You're going to farm more items with these. And you're going to be able to impress your friends and your family. All right, these are coming soon. All right, back to gameplay. Sorry for that ad. Had to add that in there. So, yeah, that's Acid Shells. So we're going to go back to Orbiter here. And then we're gonna do the gameplay. And we'll show this bad boy off. I have to take Acid Shells off, though. All right, what did I have? Scope or something? Or let me just type in critical. Critical laser sight. That's what it's called. There's another one too. What is this? There's one that has critical damage. Shrapnel shot. Yeah, this needs critical chance more than it needs critical damage because you kind of want to get closer to that 100%, which is why I go with laser sight over shrapnel shot. If it was closer to that 100%, like by itself with just critical deceleration, I'd probably go with shrapnel shot, but it's not. All right. And we're also not doing this on Hildren. We're going to do this on the weapon test build because, again, if anyone's watched my videos before, I don't mix this with external factors. I leave it up to you guys to make those, intelligent conclusions about adding external things. So, because of that, I'm going to be doing this on a big dumb Inaros with no Archon shards that increase weapon performance, no mods or arcanes on the Inaros that increase weapon performance, and with a pet with no sentinel weapon and no mods on the pet that increase weapon performance. Okay. Let me stop running my mouth, and we will get into our gameplay here.
The art of combat must be practiced.
So yeah, viral and hunter munitions or corrosive with a full strip. If you're willing to do 2 Archon shards to full strip. Could you do it with 1 now? I wonder that. I wonder with... did the rework change that, or is it still 2? I think it's still 2. They just lowered the max value, I guess, not the percentage of strip. Although you'd probably get away with doing just about as much damage with one Talforge green than with two. So you would save an Archon shard slot. I don't know. I usually go viral on a lot of my builds. I don't do a lot of the corrosive full strip with the 2 shards. But I know it's very powerful. And against like armored enemies, the acid shells does like nothing at all. You barely could even see their health move when you get acid shell procs. To even see any like movement on their health, you need to be able to full strip. And for it to do any significant damage, you need to start pulling the shenanigans, like the person was saying. Have specific subsumes while playing specific Warframes with specific Archon shards, while wearing your efficiency diapers, of course, to increase your DPS. But, I mean, that's basically how I got to where I am, is by wearing those Salt Prime MLG Gaming Diapers. Why get up when you can sit down? That'll be the catchphrase of it, I think. Why get up when you can sit down or keep playing? I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll eventually make a Saren build, and I'll probably do a deeper dive into the Sobek specifically for Saren. But right now, I don't have a Saren build. I don't play Saren. I mean, of course, I have played Saren, and I have her, max level, of course, but I have everything in the game. I just don't have time on her playing her or have her built out for Steel Path runs. I think I got requested, though, to do Saren, so maybe I should eventually. I always say that every time I have some time or, like, Umbral Formas. I don't even know if she needs Umbral Formas, but every time I have, like, extra Umbral Formas, I'm like, who am I going to build next? Like, man, I always play support frames. I should actually build, like, a damage frame one day. I really should just do a Saren finally, because Saren really is, like, the top damage frame. I don't know, actually. There's a few frames now that are like in that same category. Protea's up there. Zaku's up there. But yeah, she's still really friggin' strong though, and she still probably is number 1 for DPS. Yeah, I always say, like, when I have some extra Umbral Formas, I should build out a DPS frame finally. Because I think the only DPS frames I actually have are Protea and Zephyr, I think. I think pretty much everything else is a support frame. I love playing support frames, though. I play mostly multiplayer. I like playing with other people. I like the RNG that playing with other people has. Some games are very easy. Sometimes they're very hard. You have to carry. There's just always a difference because you're playing with different people. All right, we're at 5 minutes here. Got Mania. If you remember from the Acolyte video, Mania is going to have the shield that won't let me shoot. So, like, right now, like, no, not being able to shoot. Oh, he just teleported me. He switch teleported. During the Acolyte video, he like refused to do the switch teleport attack. Stop beating me, man. I gotta hit a life support here. Goodness. How rude. Don't switch teleport me. Let me hit this thing first. Maybe I'll hit one or two more. I'll top off with 100% here. Yeah, during the Acolyte video, he like refused to switch teleport me. You gonna let me shoot you finally? He is. Until he puts his Zephyr Shield back on. Probably now, let me see. Yep, his Zephyr Shield back on. He's gonna whoop my ass. He can ragdoll you with melee hits. That's the unique thing about Mania. His melee hits ragdoll. And I think because I don't think ragdoll is considered a regular status, so I think it goes through status immunity. I'm pretty sure. Not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it does. Because it'll... I'm pretty sure Naurus' 3 makes me status immune. It'll go through his 3. Now, if they ever fix Acid Shells to actually work and to scale with Steel Path, I think it would be very powerful. It's just that it's been that way for a very long time since it's come out, basically. So I don't think it's really on their list to fix anytime soon. You know, and it still has its niches. Like I said, it still supposedly works good on a couple of frames. It's just that for your general build, you're not really going to use it. And it is considered a bug. It's in the bug reports as far as it's it not scaling with Steel Path. Or anything that's considered Steel Path. So again, like Deep Archimedia or Archon Hunts also. Earn rewards by watching TennoCon. I think I have everything that Barrow has. Although he sometimes has new stuff. Like he had a new Prime mod this last week he was here. It was an Arc Gun mod. And I had just done a video on the Dual Decurions, and I remember going over that non-primed version and was like, this could be an option on the Dual Decurions because they blow through their magazine really quick. And now there's a prime version. I wonder if it actually is a good option on the Dual Decurions. I don't think it's going to be good on like pretty much any of the other Archons, but maybe on the Dual Decurions because they blow through their ammo super freaking quick. They actually might blow through their ammo so quick that you don't need the full like 27 seconds or whatever they get. Or 17. Is it 27, 17? Something like that. 17. I think it's 17 seconds you get a damage buff. Had to hit 2 of these guys here. I'm going to have to wait for the enemies to Congo line over to me. It's going to hurt my damage numbers. Come on, gotta get this Kuva Sobek up here. Don't let the Ignis Wraith beat the Kuva Sobek in kills. You know what this really needs? It needs punch through. If you had a Riven that had punch through, oof. Oh, you'd be cooking on this thing. Yeah. I know everyone always likes their crit chance, crit damage, multi-shot Rivens. And they're good, right? Crit chance, crit damage, multi-shot Rivens are technically the highest DPS. But like there's in-game stats that actually affect actual like gameplay and kill counts more than just paper stats. And that would be like punch through on secondaries and shotguns. Because there's not a great way for secondaries and shotguns to get punch through. Alright, so 10 minutes in, we're at 589 kills. Oh, it's down below. So yeah, if you're just looking at paper stats, yeah, of course, like crit chance, crit damage, multi-shot. But you know, gameplay-wise, punch through is a super friggin' good stat for shotguns and secondary weapons. Primary weapons can use prime shred, which you almost on most weapons, like there's a few you don't, but on most weapons you use a fire rate mod. So prime shred for regular like rifles and shit is very powerful because you get fire rate and punch through. I'm pretty sure you can't get that on shotgun, so let me just double check that. I'm questioning myself now. I'm like, oh my goodness, did I forget about prime shred? I'm pretty sure it's not for shotguns. Let me think of fire rate. Yeah, okay. I got scared there for a second. I was like, oh wait, should I have went prime shred? No. Yeah, you can't. There's not a good one here for shotguns. Or one that like gives you other stats along with it. So yeah, that was the Kuva Sobek. Thanks for suggesting that there, Tengu. If you liked the video, consider giving it a like. If you haven't subbed yet, consider subbing or tell me what I can do to earn your sub. And look out for them Salt Prime MLG Pro Gaming Diapers, guys. It's coming out soon. All right, you guys take it easy. Bye.